Hello, film fans. Welcome to the Film vs. Film podcast. My name is Martin Harries, your host, and I'm joined by the film encyclopedia man, Boaz Dix. We are a couple of filmmakers on occasion, but mainly can't stop yapping about movies. On this podcast, every episode we pick a topic from a film that's coming out at the cinema or on VOD. Myself and Boaz pick our favourite film from that topic, and we battle it out to decide which film will become the greatest film of all time, according to two film geeks from Wiltshire, England. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave us a review and subscribe. Hello, welcome to this very special episode of the Film vs. Film podcast. As I'm bringing out some hex magic to turn this one into a TV special. And as you may have guessed, this is a WandaVision
No, this
special.
is cheesy as fuck. That's what that is. What the hell was that? All right.
Yes, welcome to the Cheese vs. Cheese podcast.
Yeah.
I'm picking...
I'm picking good old-fashioned cheddar.
No, what was it? Stinking Bishop. There you go.
Stinking Bishop. That's
yeah, I didn't
gross.
shower this morning.
So is the bishop your dick or what? What's that? Yeah, that's weird.
It's the cheese.
Oh, okay.
God. Right, we've gone way off topic already,
Yeah.
and we're only a minute in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's hurry up. Let's turn this around.
What's your pick, Boaz?
My
Let's do
pick
you
is, let's get the title right, the all-new Halloween spookula of WandaVision. Spooktacular, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, episode 6. Why did you pick this one?
Yeah, I don't know, I just kind of really liked it. One, it was Halloween themed, which is pretty cool. Everybody's got their classic costumes on.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I love that, and they incorporate it well because it's a Halloween thing. Oh, what are you? I'm a fortune teller. You know, she's in a Scarlet Witch costume, and who are you? You know, Vision. I'm a luchador and stuff like that. I just thought it was really cute, and Quicksilver displaying his powers and stuff, and in his costume. So there's that like fan service bit I quite liked.
And the kids being in their comic book accurate
Yeah, they were in their comic book accurate costumes. Yeah, exactly. Tommy and Billy. Because I know one of them, the one that's not dressed like Quicksilver, that he's called Wiccan in the comics. He's a lot more important. He's like one of the young Avengers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, other things I quite liked were, the fact that it was like Malcolm in the Middle inspired, because I quite like Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently I learned that, this is supposed to be like the 90s episode, but Malcolm in the Middle is like early noughties. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
I think it's just on the cusp.
It
It's
really
like
matter.
I think it's just on the cusp. I think they started like really late 90s, like 98, 99 or something.
Right, directing then. As you said, the title sequence, of that 90s Malcolm in the Middle inspired title sequence was really cool, nice and frantic, very similar to that. And they all the episodes have their own unique title sequence.
Yeah, exactly.
Representing its era, which was quite fun.
Yeah, and also like the comedy of it and stuff like that, and the sort of camera angles that are sort of inspired by whatever program they're taking off from. So Malcolm in the Middle, a lot of like low angle shots of like characters and stuff like that. So that's very quintessentially Malcolm in the Middle. And a lot of flashback scenes where, like, the camera goes into a flashback thing and then comes out again. That's very quintessentially Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, I used to watch Malcolm in the Middle a lot as a kid, and as a family, I just found that show absolutely hilarious.
Oh yeah,
it's one of my favourite sitcoms ever.
Yeah, it's on TV. Like they do like almost like 4 or 5 episodes most of the weekday. So I've been watching.
Yeah, I don't really watch it anymore, but
oh yeah, it's good. I recommend it. So anyway, other things with the sort of directing, probably nostalgia for that style of camera work from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah,
that's really good. There's no like standout shots I can think of. I suppose it was great seeing like Vision flying around and actually using his powers. That was really cool. That seemed like really cinema quality.
Yeah. I quite liked the way the episode actually kind of explains a bit more, or shows you a bit more the range of like Wanda's powers, because as you said, when Vision, he's walking further out into Westview, and he's just before he does fly off, he sees these characters just doing these repetitive movements all the time. Like there's this one character that's using her arm to just put washing on the line over and over again, and you can see like a little tear down there.
Yeah, I was going to say I really like that shot. I thought that was great. Yeah.
And it's kind of like Wanda is giving them limited options because within her like possession that she's and the illusion that she's giving these characters, because she's so far away, they're not like immediately important to Wanda, I guess. And then the further he goes out, the other characters are just completely still, you know. They're just not important to Wanda at that time because they're so far away, but she still wants them to be under control. Yeah, and it's kind of like locked-in syndrome to me. Like, they're just... Because obviously they're all screaming inside kind of thing, you know. That's obviously represented with a tear going down her face with that character. Yeah, so that just kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Because, like, locked-in syndrome is when you're fully conscious and, there's nothing wrong with your senses or anything, but you literally just can't move anything. And did you notice the two films that are on the cinema, the titles on the cinema, as, like, Pietro and Wanda, like, walk down the town?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it was The Incredibles and Parent Trap.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool and a kind of cool reflection of what, like, the show is all about, really.
Yeah. I like the colour of, like, Quicksilver's, or Pietro, is that what they called him eventually? Pietro. Of his, like, whizzing past and all that, his super speed. Very sort of, I don't know, it was kind of, like, cheesy, sort of, like, colouring. I don't know, I just thought it was... kind of adorable.
I kind of like the scene where when they get to one of the characters and he's on the radio to someone and he's like, all the sweets are gone. Oh, all the pumpkins are smashed in. What's going on?
Yeah, there's silly string everywhere.
Quicksilver going really fast with the kids.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah,
I think my favorite scene actually is not a funny one. It's the scene where Vision like tries to break out of the hex. And the way he's crumbling, it's quite an emotional scene, actually.
Yeah. And
it's the first sense that you get the idea that actually this version of Vision can't exist outside of the Hex.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine he dies in that moment, I would say, because in the next episode, he's on the floor and then the Hex goes, when it expands, it goes across his body again and then he comes up. So, if it didn't expand, he's a goner, pretty much.
I also really liked the scene of at the end where the Hex does expand. I thought that just looked absolutely amazing, where it's just turning everything into like 90s.
Yeah, the scale just like ramps up massively.
But it looks cool. Like there's something to run from. It's like, but when it catches up, it's like, it's not horrible. It's like the people turn into clowns. The shield. Whatever, sword vehicles and sword base. There's like caravans and big top tents and shit like that.
Was it an ice cream van?
An ice cream van, yeah. One of the trucks turned into an ice cream van.
I'm not sure I'd have an ice cream from that.
Yeah, it's magical. It's very magical taste.
I mean, if I could get like ice powers, possibly. Yeah, from the ice cream. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favourite shot was kind of like that side angle view of Vision coming out, and he's kind of in semi-silhouette from the lights, and there's a lot of like smoke in the background. It looked really great.
Yeah.
As he was trying to come out, and you start to see the peeling of vibranium off his body. That was really cool, that bit.
I also think it had one of the most creative adverts. Usually she has like an advert. It was is it Yo Magic advert?
Where it's like animation.
Yeah,
kind of a
claymation.
stop-motion animation.
Claymation, yeah. I just thought that was amazing. It did remind me of, like, when I was younger, there was a claymation... what was it? There was a dinosaur advert for Dairy Lee Dunkers, which was done in claymation. Yeah, I used to love that. I used to pretend I was a dinosaur with the Dairy Lee Dunkers. Have you never watched that? It's a hilarious advert, but it's really dark. This dinosaur gets some Dairy Lee Dunkers and he dips the people into the Dairy Lee Dunkers and then realizes, oh shit, there are breadsticks. It's really dark, but I thought it was hilarious.
All right.
And it just kind of reminded me of that, but it's a shark. And, it's like, it's obviously being meta of the plot, like most of the adverts are. Like, and eventually, especially when you get to the reveal of, like, who the villain is and what have you. Which isn't that much of a surprise, but, and what she's doing, she's eating your magic and what have you, Yeah, and it gets really dark at the end where the person can't open the yogurt and just turns into a skeleton. Like, what?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So, directing score.
So, especially, like, as I said, just like the camera angles and the camera work and just basically the general tone from Malcolm in the Middle, which is a show I very much like. The fact that you got the costumes, which is great. And the special effects are amazing. They definitely ramped it up this episode. I think, it's basically in the 6th episode from here on out, you're like, whoa, yeah, this is serious because there's special effects in most of the scenes and they look tremendous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would give this quite a high one, I think, like a 8.7.
I'm not sure the directing is the strongest element. Obviously, the production design is great, and they've got a shit ton of money involved.
Yeah,
it's Marvel and Disney.
Yeah, yeah. I can actually understand what you're talking about because even on reflection, that I really like this episode, and there are great effects, as I say, and there's great homages and all that, and production design. There's nothing very unique I can say with like the camera work or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's the case with most of the episodes, to be honest, because it's very much they're trying to keep the sitcom-y style, and obviously they come out of that when they go to the Sword team and Monica Rambeau, Jimmy Woo, and all that, Darcy. They change the aspect ratios, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So I'll go like 8.3, I think. Because I'm a harsh bastard.
I do love the aspect ratio change that they've introduced in the series. I think that's amazing.
So screenplay then. There's quite a few funny lines, but there's also some interesting stuff as well. When Wanda comes down the stairs to see what the hell is going on with her kids because they're making such a racket, as we've said, she comes down in her comic book accurate costume as Scarlet Witch, and Pietro says, "Wow, that's so lame." And then the kids copy him saying the same, it's lame as well. Just, trying to be cool, I guess, because it's their uncle.
Yeah.
And then he says, "Oh, worse than the year our mom got us when we got typhus." And then cut to the flashback scene of this horrible lady giving Pietro like a dead fish.
Yeah,
that was a great moment, as you said, of just like a flashback moment.
Yeah,
of just weird humor.
Yeah,
quirky 90s humor.
Yeah, definitely. Like plot wise, it's. I do like the performance of the guy that plays Quicksilver and just how he does his lines and stuff. But even his lines are really kind of good, and they kind of almost seamlessly go into being very funny and jokey to being like dead serious and like quite ominous. Like, where's your accent? Well, where the hell's yours? And stuff like that. Or, you're the one making all this sort of thing. Like, just jabs at her. You're like, what?
Yeah, because obviously we learn at the end of episode 8 that it was Agatha all night long.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that scene you're talking about, because obviously Pietro / Agatha is talking to Wanda about how impressed she is that she's doing all this. And he says, "I'm not some stranger. I'm not your husband. You can talk to me." And then Wanda says, "I don't know how I did it. I only remember feeling completely alone, empty, and endless nothingness." Then cut to Pietro with lots of holes in him, looking rather dead.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty.
And it's kind of like the first time in the TV show that, like, the grief is kind of starting to come out with Wanda, and the illusion is starting to break, and that Agatha is reaching in a little bit,
Yeah, I must say this. I love the reference to Kick-Ass, where he goes off with the boys, and they're like, let's get up to some mischief. It's like, Kick-Ass! And she's like, Kick-Ass? Like, in case anybody doesn't know, like, in the film Kick-Ass, that guy, and the other guy that plays...
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That's the one. You know.
No names, Boaz.
Yeah. Yes. If they're fictional, I probably know their name, but real people, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah, you got to change the T's to the D's. Sorry, that was a Mickey Blue Eyes reference. But anyway, what the fuck was I going to talk about? You distracted me now. But yeah, so Aaron Taylor Johnson and this guy, Evan
Peters.
Yeah, Evan Peters. They were both in Kick-Ass together. Yeah. So I don't know. I quite like that. It's funny.
Yeah.
Took a long time to say a very, shitty fact, I suppose.
And he's not even kick-ass, though, in that film. It's Aaron Taylor Johnson. But anyway.
Yeah. Although, what was it? Did you see the sequel? It's not him.
Two.
Yeah, there was two.
Apparently it's awful. But
yeah, it's not as good. Yeah, it's not as good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think one of my favourite scenes, actually, in this episode was the scene where Vision catches up with Agatha in the car on the edge of town. And it's really interesting because they're on the edge of town, she's speaking before Vision does like the yellow temple pokey thingy to wake her up, and it's kind of like a subtle clue that she's not all she seems. Before that, Vision is seeing all these characters completely still, but when he sees Agatha, she is still talking while pretending to be in a trance. And obviously, it's no accident that she's dressed up in a witch's costume.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
She even cackles like a witch. How did nobody get this? It's like, you're clearly evil, woman.
Yeah, there's also some other funny lines. When Darcy, Wu, and Monica get kicked off the base and they take out the guards, Darcy's like, "Why didn't anyone tell me the plan?" Which is good. And then Darcy says to Hayward, "Hey, here he is, the guy who almost got murdered by his own murder squad."
Yeah, that was cool.
But I think my favourite line is, just as the Hex changes Darcy into like the escape artist, she says, "Oh, fuck." Well, she starts to say, "Oh, fuck," but the Hex changes it to, "Oh, fudge." It's quite a nice little moment there.
Yeah, that was cool.
I think score then for me, I think I'll give it a solid 9. Like that whole scene between Vision and Agatha's just really clever. Score for screenplay?
I'd probably go 9. Yeah.
Right, acting then. I think for me, my favourite performance, I'll say right from the off, is Paul Bettany. I think he's really great in this. Certainly, especially in the scene where he's, trying to break out of the Hex, and he's trying to say, save these people, to Darcy and everyone else.
Save Martha and many others.
No, not having any of that shit in my podcast. God, that was awful. Anyway, and we're doing Zack Snyder films soon.
And we're definitely not going to do Batman vs Superman. I'm just going to pick Batman vs Superman to spite you.
No, you've already done Watchmen.
Yeah.
So. But I really liked the acting from Paul Bettany, like right from the start when he comes down in his comic book accurate Vision costume, because he says he's not going to join Wanda and the kids trick or treating because he needs to be, on lookout for the neighborhood watch. And he says, "Have a spooky time, kids." And then to Wanda, very like emotionless and very quiet, "Wanda, be good." And then just kisses her on the cheek and just, he has these. Not evil, but just like, I don't trust you at the moment, eyes. Yeah. We're not on good terms at the moment. Something's not right here, which I thought was really clever from Paul Bettany and the direction there. Any other acting moments from you that you liked?
I think the kids do a good job.
Because they do a little bit of fourth wall breaks as well, just to explain their parents' emotional state, which I thought was quite clever and very Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, very Malcolm in the Middle
as well.
Yeah, the kid that plays Wiccan, he's going to be Wiccan.
Is that the mind reader power?
Yeah, the mind reader one. I thought he was really good. For a kid actor, I thought he was pretty good. Especially when he figures out his dad is dying and stuff, and it's like probably my favorite. I think might be fake Pietro, might be. That guy, it's not because it's emotional or whatever, or particularly well. It's just he's very charismatic. He's just funny.
Yeah. One of my favourite moments as well is when outside of the Hex, like Hayward and Monica are having an argument, and Hayward says to Monica, you have no idea about how hard it is during the last 5 years because he wasn't blipped, and he's saying, of how hard it was to keep the lights on. And Monica says, "Don't use the last 5 years to be a coward." And then cut to Darcy and Jimmy Woo going, "Oh, shit, burn." Just great expressions on their face.
Yeah.
Just a little moment there, which I quite liked. But then, obviously, Hayward just kicks him out anyway.
Yeah. And then they kick ass in, like, the next couple of seconds. So.
Yeah, and didn't tell Darcy about the plan.
Would you, though? Like...
No.
No.
I don't think so. It was very, instinctual from those two, because obviously, they have fighting training, and Darcy is just a scientist. So, so acting score for me, I think this one's really quite good. I think all the episodes, they're all pretty awesome, to be fair. I'm going to go 9.2, I think. How about you?
I think I'll go maybe 8.9.
Right, let's add up the scores then for episode 6 of WandaVision, All New Halloween Spooktacular. Episode 6 gets 53.1. Right, let's do my pick then. I picked the episode after this one, after your one. Episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall. So this one is very much reminiscent of Modern Family. They do a lot of, obviously, hence the title, fourth wall breaks.
Yeah.
It's interesting with the fourth wall breaks in this, because I got a bit annoyed when I was seeing reviews of this, because they're like, "Oh, this is Marvel, breaking the fourth wall." I'm like, it's not really, because I think it's only breaking the fourth wall to the people in the MCU universe, not necessarily to us.
Yeah.
Because, this is a TV show within a TV show. They're just breaking the fourth wall from the first TV show to the second one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly.
No.
I wouldn't consider this a true
this is not
fourth wall
Deadpool
break. Yeah, no.
stuff.
No, this isn't I know I am fictional. This is this is a TV show that I'm in the bubble.
Yeah, because some people were speculating that, this is the way in for Deadpool, but I'm like, no, it's not. It's completely different.
No, Deadpool knows he's not real. Not that. Yeah. I think if he took off his makeup and was like, "I'm Paul Bettany," that would have been a proper.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I kind of like the scene where everything is, several scenes where everything is getting transformed into different things from different eras. It's great because it just shows you that Wanda is slightly losing track and losing control of the Hex, because obviously she's very distracted about her grief with Vision, and and also in the moment the fact that Vision's not there to support her, fake Vision, I guess, which I've found quite visually clever there. Any directing bits that you liked?
I loved, and I mean absolutely love, it's probably one of my favourite shots in the whole series, where Monica Rambeau forces her way through the thing.
Oh,
and, pass,
I love that bit.
Different versions of her are coming off of her, in different clothes and shit, fitting to...
Well, yeah, because she's in the Hex in the first few episodes.
Yeah.
You see the reflections of her 70s one, 60s and 50s character. Kind of similar to because we've covered Contact.
Yeah.
I think that whole thing, that style that they do, which was quite good, and Star Trek motion picture. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And you hear Carol Danvers' voice in that moment as well. So what superhero is she going to end up being? Because I'm hearing that she's possibly going to be Photon.
Yeah,
who is Photon?
Photon, yeah. In the comics, it's very complicated. It's due to her absorbing alien energy from, I can't remember, the Skrulls or whatever. I can't remember. I watched a video on it. It's very complicated. Her comic backstory, because I watched a couple of videos on it, is pretty heady, and she's been many different superheroes. She's had her identity changed a lot, and I think Photon might have been her second and most iconic form, but she was actually the original female Captain Marvel, way before Carol Danvers.
Okay.
Yeah. So after
what, Miss Marvel? You mean?
No, Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay.
So originally, Marvel is a man and a Kree warrior, and he was the original Captain Marvel. And he had a sidekick, Miss Marvel's Carol Danvers. then he died, and instead of Carol Danvers becoming Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel for a bit. So, and then various other people before it became Carol Danvers, who was just Miss Marvel for like ages and ages.
Oh, okay. That's cleared it up a tad.
Yeah. So
what kind of abilities does she have? Is it very much plasma blasts or whatever?
It's very similar, I think, to Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel, even just in the films. A lot of like energy projection and energy absorption.
Just blue.
Yeah, I think in the comics it's like yellow, but I think they just decided to go blue because Captain Marvel is assigned yellow, so just make it visually distinct.
But I think one of the main reasons why you know Monica is becoming a superhero because she does a superhero landing.
Oh yeah, really cool superhero.
When Wanda hexes her up into the sky, and then she kind of breaks, and then she tries to like force her through the ground.
Yeah,
and she kind of does a really cool superhero landing. I just wanted to see Deadpool like on the side saying, "Oh, she's going to do a superhero landing. She's going to do a superhero landing."
Yeah, that's bad for your posture. Yeah, I love that.
But my favorite scene, which I got very, very giddy about, was when you discover who Agnes really is, and you follow Wanda down Agnes's basement, and you see all these really like large vines and ancient like dungeon arches, and you're like, ooh, this looks so cool.
And it's like she's into S&M. Run, Wanda, run!
S&M. What the D&D, you noob. That would be a very different show.
Yes, that would definitely be one.
S&M, fucking hell.
I would watch that.
Got your letters mixed up big time there, mate. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway. Anyway, and then you see like this cool glowy book. I ain't got a fucking clue what that is, but it looks really cool.
Yeah. Do a Google search, man. So apparently it seems to be their version of the Darkhold. So anyway, it's Book of Spells. Okay. Very powerful book of spells.
And then you go into the amazing "It Was Agatha All Along" song, which is, I love that song. And then you go through what she was doing behind the scenes kind of thing throughout all the episodes. I fucking love that bit. And then she says, "And they even killed Sparky," which is funny at the end.
You evil bitch.
Yeah, so directing score, I think just for that last scene alone, and some of the action in this episode as well, I fucking loved it. So I think I'll go like 9.3. I think it was really well done for me.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
How about you?
Maybe like a 9.2.
Right, screenplay then. Again, the screenplay is really, really interesting. Agatha says in one of her own interviews, she says, "Oh, I think I got there in the nick of time because she was one split end away from cutting her own bangs." It's just a great line because she said it's just because obviously she could have been like one moment away from like topping herself, but no, she you learn that she was obviously behind it all the time, and she wants her alive to see how powerful she is.
Yeah.
But we don't know what for exactly.
Yeah, I love the where it's like, "Oh, is our mum fine?" and what have you. Oh yeah. Goes, and then back to her on the interview couch. Try telling a kid that her mother is his mother is what was it, Cocoa for Cocoa Pups or something?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what?
That was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought that was good. Oh, and I like when what was it? I like the whole scene of Vision and Darcy trying to leave, and like there's a construction crew. It's like, get them out of the way. There's like kids crossing the street.
Like, oh, for God's sake!
But I like in the interview thing, because it goes to the he's being interviewed, and then it just at one point he goes, "What the hell am I doing?" It takes all, and just flies through the roof. That. Yeah,
I love that, and he hits his head on the boom mic.
Yeah, but I like that. It's like, what on earth what am I doing?
Just great acting from Paul Bettany there. I think it's great. I also really like that scene with Darcy and Vision in the truck, where Darcy is trying to explain what's happened to Vision throughout the MCU's history, and the fact that he's died twice, and and Wanda had to watch, but she can't explain
why you can't go outside the hex, but says, but what I do know is that I've been watching WandaVision for the past week, and the love you guys have is real. You belong together. And it's just a great moment of heart in the show. You know, I really like that bit. You know, and you see in the next episode, it's just that first seed of of emotional satisfaction with their relationship. You know, it's a really lovely moment for me. That line from Darcy, and just great acting afterwards, I think, from Paul Bettany as he's trying to remember what Wanda means to him, you know. But going back to Agatha, though, I love the bit when Agatha takes away Wanda's kids to give Wanda a break. And Wanda wants to thank her by asking, is there anything that she can do to say thank you to Agatha? And Agatha says, you know what? I do have a suspicious mole on my back that I can't just see. Oh, boundaries. I get it. Say no more. And it's just this whole ironic thing of reflecting their whole situation, that they're all in boundaries because of the hex.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they're in boundaries. But also, moles are associated with witches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you got that.
And she's, a spy kind of thing, I guess.
Oh, yeah, shit. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Holy crap, that is the cleverest line in the entire series. Yeah. Wow, I never thought about that. Jesus. Yeah. I like when the kid can't read her thoughts. It's like, I like being here with you, it's quiet. It's like, I can't hear you, you're quiet on the inside too. It's like,
It's because she's blocking out all telepaths.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And I also really like the bit when one of the last scenes where Wanda is talking in the interview things, and Wanda is talking to the camera and she can't work out, why everything is changing in the house, from era to era. And then we learn later that it was Agatha talking to her, and the guy behind the camera says, maybe you think this is what you deserve.
Yeah.
And it's like Agatha's just trying to push her buttons to see what she would do next, if her powers would come out with a strong emotional reaction or something like that, It's really clever, this script. There's also some funny lines as well when Darcy is still in hex mode, and when she's talking to Vision and she says, okay, I'll go out with you, but I'm ordering the lobster. And then there's one during the advert was quite interesting in this one, and right at the end they tell you, because the world doesn't revolve around you, or does it?
Yeah, that was cool.
And obviously I killed Sparky.
Yeah, that was a good line.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think I killed Sparky is probably my favorite line.
Yeah, I think for me, my favorite, I guess, line was just the song at the end, of it was Agatha all along.
Yeah.
That was such a great song. I was stuck in my head for so long after that episode.
Yeah, next Christmas #1.
So screenplay score, I think it's just as you said, we both said that certainly some of the lines from Agatha is so clever and has such double, triple meanings. So I'm going to go 9.5 for me.
Wow. I'll probably go 9.
So acting, for me, this is all about Catherine Hahn's portrayal of Agnes in this.
Yeah.
Agatha Harkness. I think she is quite remarkable in this.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I love the bit when Agatha comes in and Wanda opens the door with her powers, and Wanda says, I'd get up, but I just don't want to. And then Catherine Hahn just smiles to the camera. Well, she smiles at Wanda, and then her eyes just move to the camera, and it's just what the hell is going on here? Any other acting moments from you that you liked?
Agnes, I do agree with you. I think she's the standout performance in the episode. She does a lot of many of the scenes we've just talked about, especially revealing, basically villain monologue 101. I think she does that phenomenally. So that was really entertaining to watch.
Some people didn't like the fact that it was too cartoonish, but I don't care really whether it was.
I think it's fine.
I think she's fucking brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you need a complex villain, and sometimes it's fun to see someone hammered up.
Yeah.
I think, and it's one of these times where it was actually very entertaining to watch somebody hammered up. Just fuck it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One of my favourite moments from Agnes as well is when Agnes takes the boys away to give Wanda a break, and she says, "Oh, I promise I won't bite." And then there's a little ironic look at the camera, just really quick, blink and you'll miss it. And also,
and her cutaway. I bit a child once. You're like,
yeah,
what?
but then the camera just holds on her for a few seconds too long to make it weird. And it's just like, what the fuck? Why the hell did she say that?
Yeah.
And obviously you learn that she's Agatha Harkness. Yes. So my favourite performance is Agatha Harkness. Catherine Hahn in this one for me.
Yeah.
So score, again, really high for me. I think it's great. Still keeping, there's lots of reveals, but they still keep this great sense of sitcom ideals in the episodes. So I'm going to go 9.3.
Okay.
How about you?
8.9.
Let's add up the scores then for episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall. Breaking the Fourth Wall wins this WandaVision TV special with 55.2.
Nice.
It'd be cool if we maybe do another separate table with all the TV Disney Plus specials.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we did The Mandalorian as well, so check that one out.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be cool actually, because we've got a bit of time, to maybe talk about what our predictions are for the final episode. What do you reckon's going to happen on the last one?
Yeah. So obviously I'll get some of the obvious things out of the way. I think the whole family is going to fight Agatha Harkness. That's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
That's just a given. Set up straight at the end.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Vision is going to fight White Vision. So, okay, that was another big reveal that we didn't talk about, is the fact that the Vision in the Hex is not is not the real Vision whatsoever. She literally created him out of nothing, all of him.
But this Vision does have vibranium, though.
Yeah,
it's kind of like fake vibranium, because she can literally create anything.
So it goes to show just how overpowered she is. It's she can literally create something out of nothing and create vibranium, and his Mind Stone as well. That's pretty weird. But yeah, so that's next levels of. But
I would imagine you can't replicate the Mind Stone, though.
Well, I don't know. It's she seems to have made a really good copy of it. So I don't know what its limits are. I did see one theory. So this isn't mine. I haven't made it up, but I'll pretend I did. Where it was perhaps she's able to create Vision because maybe she has some of him in her or something like that. And because you do see a yellow energy emanate from her when it recaps and shows how the show began when she creates him, So maybe that's only a one-fer. Maybe she can only do that once. So the real Vision is evil. His actual body, Sword still has. And,
White Vision.
White Vision, yeah. And they've animated it, and it's going in. So I think they're going to fight. I think the ideal happy ending would be her creation of Vision. His mind goes into real Vision's body, White Vision's body. So WandaVision's Vision goes, and then that's how you bring the character back. Yeah. No, I think that would be a much sweeter ending. Yeah. I think for me, they might destroy each other, but whatever. Yeah,
I can't see Vision surviving this, if I'm honest.
I think he might.
I think Vision will die for good at the end of this. Okay. I know it sounds horrible and morbid.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? Don't say that, Martin.
Yeah. Well, I suppose the entire theme of the show is to let go of, to sort of accept grief, to accept.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you don't have some sort of big death at the end, then I don't think the show would work. But then I was thinking they've created White Vision. But how is White Vision going to actually get into the Hex? I know he can phase, but I don't know whether they... Do you know what I mean? Will he be able to even get in there?
I think he should, because it just seems like anybody can walk in. It's just a strain, and obviously if she doesn't want you in, she won't let you in. But if her defenses are down, and she's not trying to stop anybody... loads of people, that guy in the hazmat suit, he came in. It's just, the only thing is... your clothes will change to that time period, so...
your cells rewrite, when you go through.
Yeah, but I think probably just to adjust
White
you to
Vision
that time.
could turn into like normal Vision, maybe. I don't
maybe
know.
a coloured one. Yeah, maybe it's one of these like,
Yeah.
who's the real one? I think there's going to be some sort of reveal of the director of Sword, that he's like more nefarious than he seems.
Yeah, because he's a bit of a twat.
Yeah, he's a bit of a twat. But then you kind of realise that he's been lying about like really big things, which don't make it like a ton of sense. Like the fact that he's like, yeah, she stole Vision's body. No, he didn't. No, she didn't.
Do you reckon Mephisto will turn up?
I don't foresee an actual higher entity appearing on the show.
No.
So there was a lot of speculation because there's a lot of little Easter eggs that Harkness works for like some kind of demon. You know, she's constantly talking in the earlier episodes about her husband Ralph. You know, oh, my husband Ralph.
Yeah.
Oh, my husband Ralph. And you have like little things. So, you know, there's somebody else, you know, that she's talking about. And I think she's just substituting a name for like some actual master of hers.
So I think we might see like something or a glimpse in the post-credits sting or something that sets up Doctor Strange 2, because we know for a fact that Scarlet Witch will be in Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
obviously it's been rumoured maybe Nightmare or even Mephisto could be the villain in that film as well.
Yeah. So I was just going back to saying, like, you know, and there are little things like, oh, the devil's in the details. It's like demonic things that she says, you know. And so a lot of like the early speculation was that it was like pointing to Mephisto.
Yeah.
But because she has this witch book that you see a glimpse of, which probably is the Darkhold, there's another demonic character that has greater ties to Wanda called Cthulhu and stuff like that. So
Cthulhu.
Yeah, Cthulhu or something, yeah. And he's a extra-dimensional demon who made a powerful spell book. He's actually the Lord of Chaos Magic, so... yeah, and, you know, he has been involved with Scarlet Witch a few times in the comics, trying to get her to free him from where he's kept. And he has, like, possessed Quicksilver in the past, like, his spirit went into Quicksilver. And so that's a nod because, you know, there's a fake Quicksilver. And there is a demon that impersonated Quicksilver who has got a special connection with Wanda. So it's probably him, I would say, rather than the more popular demon in Marvel, Mephisto. It's probably Cthulhu. Yeah. Okay.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, so I think... so I don't imagine, like, a direct appearance of him, because when you're talking about... I don't know of obviously the power scales in the MCU, but in the comics, if he just like fully appeared, it's one thing with characters of that level, like everybody's dead, you know. So it'd just be more of a... It's kind of like Dormammu, you know, when he came. It's like there's not anything anybody could fucking do. It's just the fact that Doctor Strange is smart, you know. But it's kind of, yeah, you know, the world would just be gone. So it would probably be like a direct mention or nod to him. Yeah.
Yeah,
like after
like
they beat
in
him.
a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Well, after they maybe beat Agnes, and then Agnes like awakens him somehow.
Yeah.
Like in a post-credit.
Or
scene
you know, she
something.
has to say to him that you know the classic
Help me.
sort of well, yeah, help me, or like I failed, and then like I'd imagine like a sort of Darth Vader.
Useless witch.
Yeah,
Slap.
Darth Vader Imperial Trooper thing where it's like, you failed me for the last time, sort of scene. I'd imagine something like that, yeah. So that's what I would put in there. I saw a wonderful theory that the director of Sword, what was he called again? Haywood?
Haywood, yeah.
Yeah, I love this theory that he's Red Skull in disguise. I think that would be amazing.
Really?
Oh man, I think that would be so fucking cool. That would just blow my mind.
he's off in...
No,
Vormir,
he wouldn't be in Vormir anymore because there's no stones for him to protect.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so think about that. It's like, you know he's alive up to the present day, and you know his duty was guarding the stone. There's no bloody stones anymore, so he doesn't have a duty. He doesn't. So, and I mean, what's he always trying to do?
Captain
Conquer the Earth?
America puts them all back, though.
No, he puts them.
I don't know.
It puts them back in like an alternate timeline. In the present, they're still not there. So in the present, he'd be fine. It's like in the past.
I'm confused now.
It doesn't matter. But in the present, all you've got to know is there are no stones. Literally, if there is a Red Skull, he doesn't have anything to do. So maybe. I thought that would be a really cool twist. He like just pulls off his face. It's like, shit.
I think that's like 1,000 to 1 for me.
Oh, I hope it's true.
Probably
though.
win $1 million.
I hope it's true though.
£1
I think it would just be amazing. It's like, you know, you think he's slimy, but no, he's pure evil. And not only that, he's like a villain that everybody who's watched the films knows. So it's not like an obscure.
So for me, I think at the end, I think Agatha will get defeated, and then we'll have a post-credit scene, or giving us a glimpse of Mephisto, or was it Cadoon or something? Cthulhu, and I think Vision will be dead. I think he's a goner big time. Yeah, and I think we'll have like a rebranding of Scarlet Witch's costume. I think we'll have a slightly more classical, modern.
Yeah, I think maybe Doctor Strange could appear, but I think it's going to be like one of those Nick Fury, like early Nick Fury appearances. So he's going to appear maybe at the end and just like, let me talk to you about the Sorcerer Initiative or something, and then go off with Scarlet Witch. Yeah,
Yeah, we got a vacancy open in the Hong Kong sanctum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the last guy had his head cut off, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's quite a good rate,
You get paid in enlightenment. I don't know.
Right, that's it then. Thank you very much, Boaz. Again, as ever, you've been rather good.
I've been more than rather good. I've been amazing.
Yeah, get the same reaction every time.
Yeah, I know. Always underrate me. I'm gonna ask for an increase in my salary.
Check out our episode this weekend on Mads Mikkelsen films, where we talk about The Hunt and The Salvation this weekend. So that'll be a good one to listen to. Thank you, Boaz. As ever, you've been rather good. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for this week's pod. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to find out more about the podcast or suggest future topics for us to discuss related to upcoming releases, let us know on Instagram at Film vs. Film Podcast or on Twitter at FVF_podcast. Remember, please subscribe. Pod signing off.